Yes, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you are all very, very, very well. It's a beautiful day again in South London. A day in which sees the England under-21s as the European champions back to back. And congratulations to all of those lads and to Archie Gray of Tottenham Hotspur, who had somewhat minutes for the England under-21s. And really well done to Lee Carsley, who surely now will be looking at a bit of a bigger job. But watch this space. Breaking news on Sky Sports right now is Dominic Calvert-Lewin has told Everton that he is leaving. He said, "This isn't something I choose lightly. Everton has been my home since I was 19 years old. It's the place that saw potential in me, challenged me to grow, and shaped me as both a footballer and as a man." So Dominic Calvert-Lewin is on the move from Everton. Tottenham Hotspur, it looks like, are going to ship out both Alfie Devine and Phillips, both to Sheffield United, if I'm not wrong. Now, this is just a lot of paper talk at the moment, but I'm seeing a lot of reports saying that Sheffield United definitely want Phillips and Devine. There was a fee floating around this morning of about £6 million for Alfie Devine. I don't know, to be honest, how do you put a price on a player that hasn't played any senior football? It's very, very difficult, isn't it? Sorry, I'm on my third pint of water of the day. It's very, very hot. Stay hydrated, people. Stay hydrated. We'll do some hellos in a minute. But today is a busy day here. We didn't do a single thing yesterday on the channel. I had a day off. I was at my brother-in-law's 42nd birthday or whatever it was. So we were out in the sun. That was very nice. Today, though, we have got this show where we're going to talk about Paratici to begin with and see where it leads. We have then got at 5 o'clock or 4:50, we will be doing a watch along for PSG versus Inter Miami in the World Club Cup. I'm hoping it's on Channel 5. It's so much better when it's on Channel 5. Let me just see. Come on, please be on Channel 5. Is it? Yes, it's on Channel 5. So we will be watching Inter Miami versus PSG. And then, if you haven't had enough of me by then, at 7:30 tonight will be the Spurs review. We're back, the Spurs review, episode 26, and it's called The Spurs Natives Are Restless. The Spurs Natives are getting restless, which they are, which we are. Everybody's starting to get the ants in the pants. Everyone's starting to wonder what's happening. Everyone's looking at all of the other clubs, the big six, so to speak, and saying, hang on, they're doing things. Why aren't we? So we'll see what happens. Tonight, who have I got for you? Tonight, we've got Manny coming on. I like Manny. We got Manny, we got Lubo, we got Dan E, and a couple of others that I'm just trying to figure out for you at the moment. So let's start by saying hello to a few people. I can't do everybody, otherwise we'll be here forever. Haybridge Stewart has said, is Archie Gray overrated and well overpriced as he couldn't even get in the under-21 side? Look, I feel for him. As I said, I've talked about Archie Gray many times. I feel that Archie Gray should have been out on loan. I feel that we've wasted a year of his development. We've just slotted him in at left back, right back, centre back. He's not actually learning and growing as a midfielder, if that's indeed what he is. And I feel like we're getting to the stage where he's not a midfielder anymore. But listen, a price tag, can't blame him for that. I blame Tottenham for that. And we'll see. Maybe Frank can get the best out of him. Will he get game time? Watch this space. Big up to you. Big up to Finn Rickwood. Hope you're well, my man. Big up to the Aussie Frank lover. Hope you're well. Anthony has said, how does he fit in? Too many cooks and the broth isn't exactly tasty. Yeah, so I guess that's in relation to Fabio Paratici, whose worldwide ban ends tonight at midnight, if I'm not wrong. If I'm not wrong, his ban ends on the 30th of June, which is midnight tonight. We'll see. Does Paratici come back to Spurs? He seems to be at Spurs all the time. He seems to be at Spurs all the time. I've got a feeling that we will announce that this week. Is it groundbreaking? What does it change? What does it mean for Lang? What does it mean for the players that might be coming into Spurs? I genuinely don't know, if we're going to be brutally honest. I don't think any of us know. Bader said Paratici is coming back at some point in the next 2 months. It's just once some formalities and legal stuff to be made clear for Spurs, they'll announce it. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to happen. I definitely think it's going to happen. So we'll see. And then you've gone on to say the guy literally rejected Milan, a Saudi club, not a coincidence. He's guaranteed by leaving Vinay that he's coming back. Yeah, sure. I guess the question is, what does it mean for Spurs if he comes back? What does that mean? Does it mean suddenly our whole scouting department changes? Does Johan Lang step aside and look? Well, I think he only does look for kids anyway, doesn't he? But we will see. George, as always, my man, how you doing? Hope you are well. A load of goalkeepers, another centre-back signed, an increase in youngsters, adding now re-signing Davis. Don't forget to blame the fans. It's all good fun at Tottenham, isn't it? It's all good fun. Yeah, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Yeah, he's on a free. Is he coming? He's not coming to Spurs. Even Spurs are not going to do that. And thank you to whoever just subscribed to me. We are chasing down that 19,000. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The link. Oh, no, let's not do that. Sorry, let's. 1 second. Sorry, I don't know what's just happened there. Boom. Oh, hang on. We've had a mayor. I've had a mayor, people. Let me go back to, there we go. Here we go. Let me put the link in. So for any of you that haven't subscribed, the people that are commenting must have subscribed because I've got subscribers only mode on. But there is the link for anybody else that would like to. Obviously, you don't have to, but it is much appreciated. And it does help the channel grow. It's pinned for anybody that cares. Or is it pinned? It is going to be pinned in a minute. No, something's not working with my StreamYard. What's going on here? Pin message. There we go. That should be pinned now. And there's a poll as well saying, is Paratici coming back to Spurs? 78% so far have said yes. 22% have said no. Big up to Trevor Whitaker. Big up to Les. Big up to Dean Law. Big up to Lucky Singh. Who else we got inside the house? Big up to my man Gary Malt and Barley. Happy lazy Sunday. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming a lot today, so not a lazy one for me. Of course, I'll only do the Inter Miami PSG game if you guys want it. If enough people don't want to watch it, we won't do it. It's fine either way. And Trevor is right. Hit that like button. Come on, people. Let's hit that like button. For once, let's start as we mean to go on. There's 301 in here and growing by the minute. Let's get that likes to 200 ASAP. It's only on 71, so let's smash that button, people. Big up to Marios, my man out there in Cyprus, who has said, big up, Savva, good morning. Good morning to you as well. I think I've just crept into the afternoon, but keep up the amazing content. Thank you. I try my best, my man. It isn't for everybody, but I'm glad that you are here. By the way, tomorrow we've got the channel member only show at 3. We've got a morning chat with Savva at 10 a.m. And then at 6 p.m. We've got the What Are We Doing Here podcast. Perchi is back after missing the last couple of weeks. Perchi is back. The Perchmeister is back tomorrow. Walter has said, question, what attacking signings do you think we will make? I think Walker Peters is back as a defensive backup. I think the Carl Walker Peters signing, I've said this for over a year. That Walker Peters only had a year left on his contract. I thought that he'd run it down with Southampton, and I feel like he will come back to Spurs. Attacking signings, mate, how long you got? I could sit here and tell you who I want. Who we get might be completely different. Listen, there's a lot of good options out there. There's so many good options out there. Let's see what happens. But we do need attacking options. I'd like a Semenyo. I'd love an Eze. I'd love I like Calamundo as well. I like Jonathan David. I like Harvey Elliott. I'd take McAtee from Man City. There's so many players that I would take into this Tottenham squad that it's unreal. Big up to Luke. So Chelsea always seem to get premium prices for their youngsters. They have a centre-back linked away and wanting 35 million. Never played for the senior team and is a teenager. Yeah, we were talking about this the other day, Luke. Yeah, great point. And big up to you, Joe. Great point. Yeah. Look, what Chelsea are very good at is they seem to get them really good loan moves. Now, is this because their caliber of their youngsters is better than ours? If you look at Tomori, Guehi, when these guys went on loan, Tammy Abraham, look at Conor Gallagher. When Conor Gallagher was going on loan, he started at Charlton, then went to Swansea, then went to the same league in the Premier League, Crystal Palace. So they seem to get really good loan moves. I'm not sure how good ours are. And that's purely because of the level we're loaning them out at. Devine went to Belgium, didn't he? You've had Scarlett at Oxford. Parrott was at like Millwall, Milton Keynes. Who else? Phillips was at Stoke. I'm missing someone. Donnelly and Keeley were at Leyton Orient. So it's difficult to really watch them and say 40 million pound players, isn't it? It's very difficult to do that. Big up to Phil Coys. How you doing, bro? Hope you are well. Good afternoon to you. No idea. Savva cafeteria owner. Sure. Yeah, I'll own a cafeteria. Why not? Big up to my man, Tony Rodriguez. How you doing, bro? Hope you are well. I won't be able to get to everyone, by the way. Lucky Singh saying, yes, that Jamie Bino Gittins has been sold to Chelsea, £55 million, which works out to about 65 million euros. Guys, these are the prices now. You want footballers, these are the prices. These are the prices. No use for a name. Good. Okay. I said, I don't really care if Paratici does come. I feel he is overrated. Our current best players are probably his, but in my opinion, that isn't saying much. I also think even with the ban, he was doing, I'm gonna guess that was not good. Doing poorly. Jason Stops. Only 1-0. Said, hopefully it's been that we get down to some business. Yeah, listen, we've got to, right? I've got no doubt we will get down to business, by the way. I guess I'm like all of you. We're all football fans, right? I guess that we know Spurs will make signings, and the question's going to be, what's the caliber of those signings, right? That's got to be the question. Big up to Kieran. Saying, morning, big man. Oh, hello. Morning, big man. I love that. I'm not big man. Happy Sunday. Spurs year starts tomorrow. Yeah, Spurs financial year starts tomorrow morning. And I think a lot of that we're all going, oh, day one. Boom, let's sign some players. I'm not sure it will work like that, but our financial year does start tomorrow. So if we made a signing today, the financials go into this year's financials rather than tomorrow's, which is next year's financials. So I don't know. I just want to sign some good footballers, really. Good morning, Tottenham 815. Morning, Savva. How are you? When is your next joining show? What's today? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday, we'll do a call-in show. Tuesday, we'll have a call-in show for you. Tuesday. So if you want to call in, feel free. Big up to Subdue Light. How are we doing? Good morning to Jessica as well. Said, think he will be back in his remit, will be the first team players with Lang heading up under 21s, 18s recruitment. Well, look, let's hope then, if that's the case, that we're actually going to sign some men rather than kids all the time. Let's hope. We can only hope. And thank you to the other person who just subscribed. 2 new subscribers today. So thank you very much. And we're doing really poor on the likes, but 400 of you in it and 116 likes. 1 in 4. Come on, we're doing Dominic Solanke conversion rates. Big up to Bobby Andrews. Said, afternoon, Sarah. Good afternoon. Hope you're well. Hopefully, Mr. Frank was keeping tabs on under 21's Archie. Couldn't get a kick over Tyler Morton. Screams this lad needs a loan. Well, listen, that's what I've said the whole time, Bobby. For me, I'm looking at the caliber of players starting in front of him for the under 21s, thinking, would I want any of them in Spurs' midfield? And if the answer is no, then why would I want Archie Gray in Spurs' midfield? He wasn't getting in above Morton, above Hackney. There's 3 or 4 others he just wasn't getting in front of. I feel for him. I feel like he should be out on loan, as I've said a million times before. But hey, that's just my opinion, man. That's just my opinion. So yeah, Paratici, July the 30th, mate. It expires tonight, midnight. It expires. So let me ask you all in the chat, what did you all make of Paratici? Because this is an interesting one, right? And I'm going to get splinters in my arse here. I'm on the fence with Paratici. I thought he did some good bits. I thought he did some really bad bits. But from what I'm hearing is behind the scenes is where he did some really good bits with our youth setup, convincing Daniel Levy to pay the youth players more money. So what did you make of him? I want to get some comments about that. What did you lot make of Paratici? Do you want Paratici to rejoin Tottenham Hotspur? There's no right or wrong here, right? I mean, like, I genuinely don't know if he will. I genuinely don't know how big a coup it is if we get him. I don't know if it will be detrimental. I don't know what that means for Johan Lang, although I would suspect that Johan Lang will move into a the more junior side of that role. But again, that's just me surmising. I don't know. I don't know if that's true. So let me build up some comments in the chat and see what some of you lot have thought about him. Listen, he made some decent signings, didn't he? Romero and Kulu and Bentancur. But let's be fair, Basuma's a good player. Basuma as well. James Maddison would have been his, right? Mickey van der Ven would have been his. Vicario would have been his. So he's made some good signings, but he also brought in people like Emerson Royale, Brian Hill, Galini. So it's Solomon. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? Like, no director of football is going to have a 100% track record. So, for example, if you look at Berta, who Arsenal have just taken, did a wonderful job at Atletico. So many top scouting missions that him and his team completed. But they also signed some duds, and that's the way it is, right? No one's going to have loads of no one's going to have every single signing as a top one. More likely to get Paratici in before any player that we actually need or want. Yeah, I feel like this has been on the cards for a while. And listen, I'll happily be wrong. I don't really care if I'm wrong about a director of football joining or not. But let's see. I've got a feeling it will be very, very shortly. Sorry, I'm just a little bit out of center. I don't like it when I'm out of center. There we go. So let's see. We'll see what happens. Let me get some of your comments up in a minute. RFS 1899 said, I think we'll miss out on Eze. We should go all out for Harvey Elliott. Listen, I really like Harvey Elliott. I've said this for a long time. I think he's a really talented footballer, and you can never have too many good footballers. So I would definitely take him. And yeah, another one that kept getting in midfield over Archie Gray, Alex Scott. Listen, Scott, Hackney, Morton, someone else was getting in above him as well. And you've got to ask yourself, how good is he if he can't get games above these footballers? Hit and miss, says Kulu Warrior. Big up to Daniel, very generous, always nice. We get the super sticker train going. We had a massive super sticker train the other day, so thank you very much, everybody. As said, a big up for all the streams you do for us lot. Thank you, Dan. I really appreciate that. It is nice to be appreciated, by the way. It's nice. Thank you very much, Daniel. Really appreciate you, my man. Oh, hang on. There we go. Sorry, for some reason, my screen just froze. Brian Hill was awful. Do you know what I feel like? I feel like Brian Hill's a very technically good footballer, just wasn't bought with anything in mind. Like, he wasn't bought for a plan, for a manager, for a system. And in the end, inevitably, it just didn't work out, did it? So we'll see. Paratici focuses on Italy. Well, is Italy a bad place to focus? Surely Italy right now would be a good place to go and get some players. There are clubs there struggling financially. surely that would be a good place to go and get some players. So a lot of top players come out of Italy. Mario also said, meh. My favorite word, meh. Meh. Craig Nichols said, only the good bits this time, please, Paratici. Yeah. I think he's better than Lang, says Kate. Big up to you, Kate. Good afternoon to you or morning, wherever you, Kate, I don't even know where you live. Wherever you are, good morning, good morning, good morning. RFS, me too, 50-50 on Paratici. But, I mean, I just want something to happen, right? O'Neill, thfc, has said transfer business was average at best. And to be honest, I was pretty happy when he got banned, okay? The fact we replaced him with Lang doesn't mean we should overrate him. Now, that's a good point at the end there. I like that. It's definitely a way to look at it. Are we, as a fan base, not all of us, but in general, are we overhyping Paratici because we think that Lang's done a bad job? I'll leave that with you lot. But there's always different theories for everything, right? Jason, again, another good point. Got some good points from everyone today. Some great points going on. How much did Levy influence the ability to do his job? I think that needs to be considered a factor. Of course, that needs to be considered a factor. If I go in, it's like, so I worked in recruitment for 20 years and talent acquisition. And whenever I went in as a manager somewhere, one of the first things I'd ask in interview is, am I able to build my own team? So if I'm taking over a team of 5 staff, can I get that to 7 or 8? How quickly can I do it? What's my budget going to be? And the number of times that, yeah, you're going to do this and the budget won't be a problem. And then when it comes to hiring, I'm like, right, this is who I want at, make it up 70K per year. Don't forget, this isn't footballers we're talking about. Oh, no, we're only paying up to 50. Well, hang on. No. You said that I could. So, yeah, absolutely. It's got to be considered a factor. I think Basuma, I don't think Basuma's average. I think Basuma needs to be played in the right way. I think when Basuma is played in the right way, he's a very good footballer. Problem is, like many of our players, it's the consistency factor, isn't it? And that's the difference between top players and good players. It's consistency. Archie is a lot closer to Premier League level than most fans think. Okay, yeah, you can say that, but you've got absolutely no way of making that as a definitive statement. When you're saying he'll prove me wrong at what? At the moment, there's nothing to prove me wrong on. He's not getting games in midfield for Spurs. He's not getting games in midfield for England 21s. So at the moment, when you're saying he'll prove me wrong, I'm not saying he can't be good in the future. I'm talking about now. So when people like you say things like this, that's a very definitive statement without you having anything to base that on. He's closer than most fans think. Based on what? Not based on what I saw of him in midfield for Spurs. He looked like a fish out of water when he played in midfield for Tottenham. Yeah, I agree, Paul. I agree. I think the Italian market is definitely one to be going after. I mean, I'm looking at Samuel Ritchie, who's just signed, what was it, last night or this morning, for AC Milan, 23 million euros. Players like that are a no-brainer for anyone that watches Serie A. Players like Samuel Ritchie, 23 million euros. He's a number 6, good player. We're not there. We're not looking at those people. And my mates just sent me Fabrizio Romano saying, Dominic Calvert-Lewin leaves Everton. And then he said to me underneath, may I present to you our next signing? Oh, don't do that to me, Tottenham Hotspur. It's just so Spursy, isn't it? Absolutely. Harvey Elliott walks into R11. Yeah. Andrew is not happy. He said Tottenham is a joke in the transfer market. Well, listen, July is here. July is upon us from Tuesday. Up to Tottenham now to prove us all very, very wrong, hasn't it? They've got to prove us wrong. We want to be proven wrong. I want to wake up on one day next week or the next 2 weeks and go, oh, you seen who we're in negotiations with? We want that, right? We absolutely want that. We are Spurs TV. Big up to you, my man. How you doing? Said Savva, when there's inflation and 12 eggs cost $10, there's no way we should be bringing in unproven young players. Our fans pay a lot for tickets to support Tottenham. Levy has no sympathy. I'll tell you what. Like during COVID when he laid off staff. Okay, listen, it's a great point. I think you should get what you pay for in life. I think if you go and shop in Waitrose or M&S for food, you get good food, right? You do in general, right? You get the best food. I think if you are going and shopping at Ferrari or Porsche versus Volkswagen, I want a better car, right? Like that's just basics. I agree with you that what he's buying players doesn't match up to the running of the club, like how much people spend for a beer and fish and chips and a burger. And isn't the sausage roll like £7 or some nonsense like that last time I went? The ticket prices, the shirt prices, all of these different things. You're absolutely right, my man. You're absolutely right. Italy is great. Paratici can get the Friendrop deal done. I love Friendrop. I would take him all day long. I think there are sensible signings like this, Stanley Cush, out there that we just never seem to be in for. I'm looking at Friendrop. I'm looking at Humanson of Sporting Lisbon. Samuel Ritchie, who's just left. Jashari. There's players everywhere. We just never seem to be there for them. Daniel said Italy is good value for money, but the French league is the one this summer. I'll tell you what. Do you know what, Dan? I think you've got a point. The French league gets so much stick, so much hate. Look at the talent that rolls out of that country every year. Every year, people raid the likes of Rennes and Lille and Strasbourg and you name it. I could go through all the French teams, Saint Etienne and blah, blah. Every year, these clubs are raided because they're bringing through gems. And every year, it's a crap league. Well, the league itself suffers from, first of all, PSG are just so much better than everyone else. But second of all, a lot of the talent gets taken very early doors. I make you right, 100%. Good morning, Nathan McCreary out there. Good morning from the USA. God, it must be very early where you are, my man. Do you believe the lack of an early big signing harms the chances of signing an Mbeumo or an Eze? Look, the Mbeumo and Eze conversation. Hang on 1 second. The Mbeumo and Eze conversation is an interesting one. Tottenham haven't bid for either player, but our fans are acting like we have. Not saying you, but our fans are acting like we've bid for both players. So they keep saying things, don't they? Like, if we let Eze go to Arsenal, and it's like, well, so damn, that's not how it works. First of all, you've got to bid for the player, right? First of all, you've got to talk to the player if he's interested. Second of all, if the player chooses a bigger club over us, I can't blame the club for that. I can't. Right? But we've not bid for either of these. Now, to your question, imagine we turn around and said to both of these players, look, we want to bring you in. By the way, we're looking to do a double swoop next week. We're buying you on the right. We're buying him on the left. We want you to be part of our new look team. Now, could that sway players? Possibly. Yep, absolutely. But from all the noise I'm hearing that I've always heard is that Mbeumo has no interest in going anywhere other than Man United. So when people say, oh, my God, I can't believe we've let him go United. Well, that's not how football transfers work. So we'll see. A big up, Kate. Says, Savva, I live in a place you call Sheffield. Always watch you, the best podcast. Oh, stop it, you. Stop it. Yes, Sheffield, been there many, many times. Big up to you, Kate. TVM has said, send Archie Gray to Sunderland or Burnley. Well, I think, here's my theory on it. I think if you send Archie Gray to one of the promoted clubs, the question you've got to ask yourself is this, for me, only my opinion. If you're going to be in a relegation battle, is a 19-year-old that hasn't played defensive midfield for 2 years, is that the guy you want anchoring your midfield in a relegation battle? For me, absolutely not. Now, I look at Burnley's central midfielders. They've got better midfielders than Archie Gray, which is the problem. They've got players like Josh Brownhill, who's a seasoned, experienced pro. Would I want Archie Gray over a Josh Brownhill? In that circumstance, no, I wouldn't. And this is the problem. By Spurs not sending him out on loan to a Burnley or Leeds last year at the top of the Championship, I think we've missed out. Just my feeling. Big up Bobby, he said roll on July the 1st. Sky Sports News, breaking news. Richarlison on his way back to Everton and Dominic Calvert-Lewin on his way to Tottenham in direct swap. Can't even joke about things like that, Bobby. It's not funny. It's the sort of thing Spurs would do. Look, what I want though is if we sell like Richarlison back to Everton, which I think it makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't that make sense? I mean, he's got Everton written all over him, you know. And when he was at Everton, I was really happy for him to stay there. I just don't want all of this loans. Let's not loan them out with an option or an obligation to buy. Let's get them out for goods. By the way, big up to you, Bobby, and smash the like button, everybody. 172 likes. There's 560 of you in here. And if anyone hasn't subscribed, come on, we must be able to get, we've had 2 subscribers today. We must be able to get 3 or 4 more. I don't believe that all 587 who are watching have all subscribed. The link is in the chat. It's pinned. And as I said, at 4:50 today, we've got Inter Miami versus PSG for a live watch-along. And then at 7:30 p.m., we've got the 3rd show of the day, which is the Spurs Review, episode 26. And today I've got a very good panel for you. This guy might be part of the panel, but the problem is Sean's such a big time YouTuber now that he looks down on the little YouTubers like me. I ask him to come on shows and I get 50-50s like I'm some sort of Tinder date. Big up to Sean, who has said, I'm fully Levy out if we sign Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Surely not even Spurs are gonna see Dominic Calvert-Lewin as an option. I agree. The comment you read about Gray. Again, though, when you're saying he'll prove me wrong about what? Prove me wrong about what? This is what I don't understand. When people like you and the other guy say that, tell me what you mean by that. How will he prove me wrong? I've said this year he won't be a first-team regular in central midfield. If you're telling me I'm wrong, then you think he's going to be one of our 2 centre mids this season. Can't see it. I can't. And if it is, stop asking for better footballers. You can't have it both ways, can you? Surely. Can't have it both ways, because where will these footballers play if you think Archie Gray's going to prove me wrong and he's going to play? See what I've done there? I've put your argument into a little pretzel for you. Would I take Yunus Musa from Milan? When I've watched him, I've never really been impressed. Doesn't mean he's not a good player, but I don't know. I don't know. No, I feel like it would be more. I don't mind him. I don't mind him. But not for me, really. Alistair Gold has just said this. Spurs need to get moving in the transfer market with Thomas Frank's pre-season approaching. Maddison and Vicario had already been signed at this point before Postecoglou's first training session. Next week does bring natural changes to the Danes squad. Let's see. I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with Alistair Gold. I don't disagree with that at all. We've got to get moving. We've got to start doing some bits. Oh, I do love YouTube. I do love YouTube so much. Right, where were we? Why has it just clicked off that comment? Oh, I'm miles behind, don't I? I'll try and get to as many comments as I always do. Alejandro Garnacho, 45 million offer to Newcastle United. Who said this? When I see things like this, I always ask the question, who said such a thing? Or are we just making this up? Who said it? By the way, 17 minutes ago, Matteo Ruggeri deal will be signed on Tuesday with Atletico Madrid and Atalanta completing all paperwork. So Fabrizio Romano, they're saying that Ruggeri moving to Atletico. isn't it funny, right? Isn't it funny that I keep hearing that clubs like Atletico have got no money, but they keep spending it. And if I'm not wrong, isn't Ruggieri? Yeah, Ruggieri is a centre half as well, right? Sorry, Ruggieri is a wing back. Okay, so that all makes sense. I'm getting muddled up there because they also were looking at Andy Robertson, weren't they? And Digne. So they bought Ruggieri as a left back stroke left wing back. Interesting. Obviously, the big news this morning was from Romano talking about the Chelsea have now intensified talks for João Pedro, another player. I think it's a really good player. But again, when the likes of Chelsea get moving, they really, really do get moving. Is that Eureka? Wow. Hey, it is what it is. Ash, I said, I feel like Levy is lying to you fans, Savva, wanting to win the league, Champions League. Like the guy never showed the interest of over how long he has owned you. Why would he change now? Yeah, listen, I think most people know that it was a lot of talk. I think most people know it was a silly thing to say, more than anything. I think if we remove the notion of lying, I think it was a silly thing to say. And it was silly for Vinay. Sean said this, the show I was on last night. It was silly for Vinay to be through the door for 30 seconds and then him and Levy kind of co-sign this, we want to win leagues and we want to win Champions League nonsense that's come out of their mouth. So a bit silly for me more than anything. Happy Sunday to you, Will, J. Edwards. Big up to you. Exactly, Joe. And I really do want people to stop doing this. And listen, I get it that YouTube could be clickbait, but I'm seeing people title their shows things like Eze agrees terms with Arsenal. And that's not true. He's not. That's not even clickbait. It's just lying. It's just not true. He's not agreed terms. Things like Spurs have bid rejected by Mbuemo. Spurs haven't bid for Mbuemo. What's going on? João Pedro next in at Chelsea after Bino Gittins. Come on, Spurs, get a move on. There's a difference. Chelsea just go and go and go. Spurs sit back and monitor and adding to the list and scouting and, we're waiting and we're seeing and we're dillying and we're dallying and it's all a bit slow, isn't it? Big up to Andy. Yeah, as I said at the beginning of the show, yeah, congratulations on the Euros back-to-back. The under-21s, back-to-back Euros. As I said, a couple of players definitely out of that under-21 squad that I would take. I would definitely be taking Harvey Elliott. I like the look of McAtee. I tell you what, I quite like the look of Hutchinson. Maybe not now. I definitely want to keep an eye on him. Really want to keep an eye on him. He does some good bits for me. Yeah, but the problem is, Phil, where does he play at Leeds? Again, do you want a 19-year-old with no experience in central midfield playing in central midfield in a relegation battle? I just don't think you do. I just don't think you do. I think he would be absolutely overwhelmed in there. I think he'd be lost. And you think Leeds will be probably, you would think, would be in a relegation battle. Is the 19-year-old that's not played DM for 2 years, is that the guy you want in there? I'm not sure it is. If it was my club, that's not who I want. Imagine we were in a relegation battle. Someone went, this 19-year-old kid's going to be your DM throughout that relegation battle. Not for me. Not for me at all. Big up to you, Russell. Big up to you. Is your normally Rick Kane? Is that right? Normally Rick Kane. Where are we? Good morning to you all, by the way. Or good afternoon, wherever it is. We need Perchy back on your shows. Perchy is on tomorrow. 6 p.m. For the What Are We Doing Here podcast. Walter has said, I think we got Frank in because he is good at getting more out of players. I think we'll buy kids and the cycle goes on. Well, listen, first of all, I've got nothing wrong with getting a coach in that gets the best out of players, but you can't just give that person kids. But I see people keep using this as a negative, not saying you, Walter, but people keep using it as a negative that we've got a coach that can coach. For me, I think it's a positive, but hey, that's just me. Mark, absolutely, mate. Yeah, I can't wait for the why Dominic Calvert-Lewin is perfect for Spurs. How Dominic Calvert-Lewin transforms Tottenham's attack. Oh, those videos crack me up, man. They crack me up, especially when it's YouTubers that aren't even Spurs YouTubers. And it cracks me up. It really does. Millbank has said Elliott looks good. Yeah, I really like him. Might be going to Brighton. I think it's a great sign for Brighton if they get him. Brighton are just good in the transfer market. It's what they do. They're very good for what they need, identifying it and getting it in. They're so good. They're also in talks, if I'm not wrong, for the Milan centre half. Always forget his name. Giller, maybe. They're just so good. They're organised. They know what they're doing. Spurs are just not organised from top to bottom. We never, ever feel organised. Hopefully that changes. We need Paratici. He changed our fortunes. Okay. Big up, the super sticker train is carrying on, is it? Big up to Chris Robb. Thank you for the super sticker. Really appreciate you, my man. Fun fact, there's 604 of you in here. If everyone put in a £2 super sticker, we'd make over £1,200 in 1 minute. Just a fun fact for you. Big up to all of you. Thank you for those who have smashed the like button. Thank you for the 3 new subscribers today. Keep going, guys. We're nearly at 19,000. Let's get there sooner rather than later. Ronnie has said, don't anyone say you don't want to Harvey Elliott because you were don't anyone say you don't want to Harvey Elliott because you were a troll. Okay. What a weird thing to say. Ronnie always comes out with some very strange ones, but okay. Well done, Ronnie. Really proud of that. Yeah, I keep hearing they've got no money and they keep signing players. I've heard AC Milan are skint. They're buying players. Napoli are buying players. Atalanta are buying players. Inter are buying. Everyone's buying players. Yes, the Gittins deal. Yes. Well, it'd be interesting to see what Gittins does at Chelsea. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. Yes, Rigeri. Well, let's see. It's not often that Simeone gets these types of transfers wrong. So let's see. It looks like he'll go in at left back. Let's see. I mean, all the talk has died down, hasn't it, about Romero to Atletico Madrid? There's been no bids. Nothing's happened there. So let's see. Big up to, so thank you to Chris Robb, who put in the super sticker. Thank you very much. Big up to Paul Watkins. Another dog picture. Love the dog pictures. Big up to you, Paul. You've been very generous lately. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate you. And thank you to the other person who just subscribed. Thank you very much, Paul. And Lee, LB190. Thank you very much for the super sticker, Lee. That is very, very much appreciated. You lot are very generous. I've always said it. I might not be the biggest channel, but I do like what we've built here. I do like, we've got some very loyal and some very generous people as well. So thank you very much, Lee. That's very, very kind of you. Where are we? Lee Carsley for England manager. Oh dear. Well, I tell you what, Tuchel's got to sort some stuff out. Dave, absolutely. Listen, as I've said, I like Harvey Elliott. I just think it makes sense in every essence of the word. I think it makes sense. Very good footballer. I think Frank would get the best out of him. Todd's 4320 said Spurs are the definition of paralysis by analysis. Oh, I like that. Joe has said, if we want to keep Romero, we're not doing a good job of convincing him to stay through our transfer activity. Well, we never do we? We never do. Imagine none of these players must be looking around and think, oh, hang on, why did I just lose 5 subscribers in one go? That's very nice. Thank you, everyone. Cheers. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, if you are a top player at Tottenham, are you looking around the changing room and going, oh, look what we've done this summer? I don't know. If you are Romero, would you want to go? Quite possibly. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. What do they want? Was it £77 million? Was it for him? Absolutely, Ryan. Absolutely, we need steel in midfield. Absolutely. I think we need some men in. I've said this for a long time. We need men. We need men, not boys. I can't believe we just dropped 5 subscribers in 1 minute. I don't know what happened there. We were just building up nicely. Anyway, where are we? Rich, yes, man. Said, I don't care what Gray does as long as he goes. Look, for me, I feel for the lad. I feel for the lad. I do. I think we brought him in under a really poor manager that didn't know what to do with him, didn't know how to develop him. And maybe Frank can, but I just don't see. If you're playing a two-man midfield, I don't see how this guy gets a lot of game time. He is not the guy I want in my midfield. I don't know. It's just not the guy I want in a two-man midfield. Sorry, it's just me. Exactly, Ash. Exactly. We should be smashing that like button for fun, shouldn't we? 600 in here, 230 likes. Stay hydrated, people. Stay hydrated. On the poll, 353 votes. Is Paratici coming back to Spurs? 77% have said yes. 23% have said no. But we'll find out. His ban ends at midnight tonight. Calvert-Lewin is a poor man Solanke. I don't see a lot of difference between them, if I'm honest, Joe. I don't want either at Tottenham Hotspur. I want much better than both. Savva Leeds, the only one out of that three that are avoiding relegation. Send Gray back to the club where he feels comfortable. Sure, but the point is, Phil, the point is they might avoid relegation, but they're going to be in a battle, right? Is a 19-year-old who's not played DM for 2 years, why would Leeds want that? Why would Leeds want that? They've got better. They've got players in midfield that are better than Archie Gray. This is what I don't think we're understanding. They've got better players than Archie Gray in midfield. Stanikus just said, finishing 17th, we couldn't pull the skin off custard. That's a great saying. I've not heard that one before. Alfie Hall, big up Alfie Hall. I said, what do we make of Spurs potentially letting Devine and Phillips potentially leaving on a permanent to Sheffield United for 6 million each? I'm personally not bothered, but Devine will be classed as homegrown and academy trained player for Spurs. Yeah, look, I think I think that's why you'll probably have Carl Walker-Peters coming in. Alfie Devine's another one that in 5 years has not developed, has not been playing for Tottenham. And the fact that, I mean, everyone for years has told me this is the guy, he's great, this is the big hope. And we're now 5 years later and we're talking about him being sold at the age of 2021 for £6 million to Sheffield United, along with Phillips, who hasn't had a kick in anger, has he, for 2 years at Tottenham. So, yeah, it won't surprise me. Again, you have to ask the question, why were they bought in? Was there a plan? And at the moment, it looks like, no, there wasn't a plan. Billy has said Gray wouldn't get in the lead side from last season. Tanaka and Ampadu. Billy, Bill, big up to you, my man. I hope you're well. WhatsApp me. I haven't spoken to you for ages. If it's who I think it is, yeah. This is what I don't get. When our fans just say, loan him to Leeds. Like, okay, but if you watch Leeds, he's not better than Ethan Ampadu. He's not better than Tanaka. Where's he getting in a relegation threatened team? I feel like we're not understanding this. No, I've not seen Reece James's free kick. Was it good? I like Reece James. He's just got to stay fit. Again, a really weird thing to say, sloppy seconds. Isn't every signing sloppy seconds? I don't understand. This guy says these really childish things every day. I guess you're talking about Harvey Elliott. But if we're saying sloppy seconds, isn't that what all signings are? All signings have come from another club, haven't they? I don't understand. I don't understand. I've just lost another 2 subscribers. I don't know what's happening this morning. Gone mad. Hotspur heard big up Dan and said Harvey Elliott should be a no-brainer. Some of us who bigged up Gray say Elliott ain't good enough. Right. Make it make sense. Right? Make it make sense, Dan. This is the point, isn't it? Not you. You are making sense. It's Gray. We love Gray. Get Gray for 40 million. Wouldn't want Harvey Elliott for 40 million. I think the levels of those two is but I just don't get us. I just don't get us. Yeah, big up George. Yeah, there has been no bid, right? As far as we know, there has been no bid. Everyone in the chat's playing silly buggers now. We've just lost 10 subscribers in 5 minutes. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why we got so many Oh, is this person being a dickhead? Okay, let's just get rid of this absolute twat of a human. Here we go. See you later. Man, they have been banned. They have been banned. Big up to you, Joseph. Hope you are well. Big up to you. Really appreciate you being here. Tell Odeberg Gray 120 million spent. That's crazy. I just don't get us. I don't get us in any way, shape, or form. I really, really don't get us. I'll tell you what is I don't know what this means. Biscuit Kitchen, in your opinion, you've got to. I need some context. In my opinion, what? I think you've got to. In what? What? Yeah, I don't know. He's getting a fullback. I mean, possibly. But guys, I'll tell you what, I feel like I might stop this show in a minute. For some reason, it's just getting really silly. I've just lost 15 subscribers in the space of 5 minutes. I'm not sure what's going on. We were building very nicely there, and now it just seems like we've got a lot of dicks in the chat that are being really stupid. Big up to you. Don't you agree that Phillips and Devine have been mismanaged during the injury crisis last season? Both would have got game time. Lank shit. I mean, yes, mismanaged, yes, but maybe, just maybe, they're not as good as we think. Just maybe they're not as good as we think. This is the problem. We assume that every kid is good enough, and maybe they're not. Maybe they're not. Okay, I'll take him all day long. For sure. Absolutely crazy. Ash, absolutely. I've just lost 22 subscribers in the last 5 minutes. I don't know what is happening, mate, but hey, trolls will be trolls. These people, I do have to look at the parents and say, how have their parents brought up people like this? It's absolutely madness. It's absolute madness, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, it could be. It just all happened very quickly. Like, it doesn't normally happen when you're live. Worst bit of business was signing Gray. Listen, I think for the money, it was terrible business. I think if we had signed Archie Gray for 5-10 million and loaned him back out, I wouldn't care. Why am I so affected? I don't know what that means. Why am I so affected? What do you mean? FPL might. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Yeah, so I don't know. When we're talking about Archie Gray, where to loan him, I think this is an interesting one. It's like whenever I was having the chat with like Matty Kay and that, and they're telling me, oh, he gets in Brentford's midfield. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. He gets into Fulham's midfield. No, he doesn't. And that's the worry for me, is I feel we've got a lot of these players where you look around the Premier League and say, do these guys get a loan anywhere? Do they get a loan? Let's look at Will Lancashire, right? Will Lancashire went to West Brom, couldn't get games above Adam Armstrong. And we got fans going, oh, he needs a chance. I watched him. He ain't good enough. Will Lancashire's not good enough. The problem is we've got so many youngsters that we just want them to all be better than they are, right? And I think that's got to be more of the problem. Savvy, would your club just gone for Xavi Simons as a young player? I mean, Xavi Simons is experienced, isn't he? Xavi Simons isn't that young for me. Xavi Simons has got hundreds of games under his belt. He's a fully fledged Dutch international, played in European tournaments. There's a difference between signing that and signing an 18-year-old Archie Gray. There's a huge difference, right? James said Leicester will be looking at centre mids. Could see them trying Gray. Possibly. Again, if you look at Leicester's centre mids, would you say Gray's better than them? That's the question I'm asking myself. And a lot of people seem to be convinced that Gray's a really good midfielder, but we've never seen it in a Spurs shirt. We've never seen it, have we? Savva, I don't think Gray, Bergvall, or one of the centre-backs go on loan. I think if we keep them this year, they become club trained. Sure, but if they don't play, though, then they just don't get better, do they? Rob said, come on, people. Savva puts in a lot of time to bring us fans content. He's researched on play. I try my best, mate. I really, really do. Really, really do. Yeah, Xavi Simons. Sorry, Xavi Simons be a great signing for Tottenham, wouldn't it? Xavi Simons would be a great signing. Really good footballer. He will get another loan to West Brom. Hopefully, the fan base do like him there. With Mason there now, it may help him. Possibly. But again, this is the question you ask yourself. And I'm just playing devil's advocate with things like this, Stanley Cush. If we're talking about Lancashire, which I'm guessing you are, if I'm West Brom and their owners, their target is the playoffs, right? Let's just say it's the playoffs. I ask myself the question, is Will Lancashire the guy that is going to get me the goals that get me into the playoffs? Is Will Lancashire going to get me 20 goals? And I guess that's the question. If the answer to that is no, then why would you take him? And that's the problem, right? Why would you take him? That is the question. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But I just feel like you've got to have some worth to give to a club, right? We can't just assume that all these youngsters go into these teams and play for them. As I said, he don't get, for me, Gray doesn't get into that Leeds midfield. He wasn't getting into the Leeds midfield when he was at Leeds in the Championship. Chelsea in discussions to sign João Pedro from Brighton, according to Sky Sports. Savva, the way you look at it, you don't want people here if they don't want to be here or subscribe. Yeah. I know. But you got to remember as well, it is my business. So, it's tough work. I like to think I do my homework on it. I've done all my coaching badge. I've done my homework. I've worked for football clubs. I like to think I know a little bit, but just a little bit. Big up to Gary, my man out there in Ireland, who says, like and subscribe, folks. Let's give Savva some dedicated followers who aren't fickle flip-flops or trolls. Can you imagine a world, Gary, where there's no trolls? Wouldn't that be amazing? No trolls. But YouTube is so bad at it. YouTube should make sure that everybody has to give their name, address, ID, but anyone can create as many accounts as they like, and they just ruin everything. I would absolutely take João Pedro at Tottenham. I would absolutely take him. But listen, he's going to go to Chelsea, isn't he? And this is the difference between clubs like Chelsea and clubs like Tottenham Hotspur. He's going to go to Chelsea. And it is what it is. We're getting Matisse Tells. They're getting João Pedros. I know who I'd rather have, but that's just the way it is. We need some Prem-proven players for Frank. Eze walks in instantly into our first team. Why aren't we getting him? Listen, I think we all want Eze, but I don't know is the answer. I don't know. Maybe he's going elsewhere. Maybe Arsenal want him. Who knows? This transfer window is like sitting in a dentist waiting room, wondering what he's going to do to you. Very, very interested. Savva, people don't like your truth. Yeah, of course. Heard Chelsea want Martinez. Which one? Which Martinez are we talking about? We're talking about Lautaro Martinez. Another overpriced teen Dibbling linked to Spurs. Also Palace. Hope is Eze to Spurs and Dibbling to Palace. Yeah, I'd be massively, massively underwhelmed if Dibbling is the signing. Archer, because these teams buy squads. This is it. You can't just buy Liam Delap. I think it makes sense. You got Delap, Pedro, Jackson, Bino Gittins, Neto, Madueke. You've got to have options. You've got to have options. Something we never do. Fair play to them. I've got nothing against Chelsea doing what they're doing. That's what I want Spurs to be doing. Going out there, putting your money where your mouth is, showing some intent. Me too. I'd be very underwhelmed with Dibbling. Another young player that could be good in the future. Another young winger. It's just all a bit. Chelsea's owners spent. Yeah, Chelsea's owners want success. You could see it a million miles away. Gary, who? Gary is in the fruit, Gary. This is Gary, you came onto my show last summer. Gary, is that you? If that is you, hello, hope you're well. Let me know if you want to come on. Always interested to hear your thoughts, Gary. When do you think Savva will start making? When do you think we'll start making proper signings? And if we don't, do you think it will cause a meltdown amongst the fan base? Well, look, proper signings is subjective, right? But if we're gonna, if what you're talking about is the same thing I'm talking about, if we want first team players that go in immediately, not Tells, not Dansos, not Takais, then we need to do it before pre-season tour, don't we? We need to do it before we go to South Korea. Will there be a meltdown? Of course there will. If there's not, there will be a meltdown, and rightly so. At the moment, I don't think there's a need for a meltdown, but sure, there will be a meltdown if this is what Tottenham continue to do. Gary, if you want to come on, you let me know. We can revisit our conversation from last year where you told me that the youth project was going to work. Big up to you. Big up to you, my man. Pierce. Is that Rob? Rob Pierce, isn't it? I said the rent boys must be at bursting point with the players they keep signing. You know what? But they keep selling as well. This is the thing with them, right? They buy a lot, they sell a lot. They're constantly evolving. They're constantly moving. They're constantly pivoting. I'm jealous. I'm really, really jealous about it. Big up from Thailand. Well, big up to you out there in Thailand. Savva, you're talking sense to help keep me sane. Listen, I try not to do the whole clickbait thing. I see so many YouTubers use titles that are just lies. And I'm like, I'll ask the question. Like, Paratici's ban ends today. Is he coming back to Spurs? Not Spurs have signed Paratici when I don't know it for sure. We'll see. Yeah, I've got a feeling he might be. I've got a feeling he might be as well. John James has said, Levy, happy to take the moral high ground when it comes to football finances, but is happy to hire a convicted fraudster. Make it make sense. You can't make anything at Spurs make sense. It's just who we are, mate. It's who we are, as a former manager said. Chelsea have paid for Delap from games played in the World Cup. Yeah, so Chelsea have already made, am I right in saying they've already made 40 million, was it? Did I see? I might have that wrong. But yeah, Chelsea, Man City, these clubs are going to make good money from being in that World Club Cup, aren't they? Oh, okay. Sorry, Emmy Martinez. Hang on, is my hello? Oh, okay, sorry. Where are the dogs? Oh, sorry. Sorry, I thought my wife was out, but she's been home ages apparently. Normally the dogs run up to see me, but now they're mummy's dogs now. They don't like daddy anymore. Yeah, big up to you, Kate. Emmy Martinez. Yeah, interesting one. Emmy Martinez. A lot of people apparently in for him. Man United one, Chelsea one, good goalkeeper, a character as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, Gary, if he comes back, Paratici. I think he will. Lots of people are saying that he's back as a consultant already, signed until the end of August. I don't know what this means, really. But we'll see. But what we need is whoever is there. Lang, I don't know. Lang there, Mackenzie's there. I don't know. Gabbanini, Paris, whoever's there. We need some players. Has Frank actually named any targets yet? Seems so quiet for a new manager. I'd want a quick statement signing to start my reign. No, I mean, we haven't really heard from Frank about signings. We haven't heard anything from anyone at the club. But that's not surprising with the way that Spurs work. By the way, they've just announced that the Jarell Quansah deal will officially go through tomorrow. Watch Liverpool move like that for Mark Guehi of Crystal Palace. Proper club. They'll act. Sold a defender. They're going to go and buy another one immediately. Proper club. You take Jackson or Nkunku. I'd take Nicholas Jackson over Solanke, if I'm brutally honest. Not that I don't want Jackson, if that makes sense, but Rob, I'd love to see it, my man. I'd love to see it. Walter has said we're told Vinay would be open and informative with the fan base. What happened? Well, listen, yeah, I get it, but we are only, it is only June the 29th. What is it that you want him to say? What is it that you want Vinay Venkatesham to say right now? I don't know what he could possibly come out and say. Big up to you, Jess. Get over there, everyone. Subscribe to @JSY Talks Football. Great channel. Get over there. Smash that subscribe button to her. And I hope all is well with you, my friend. Hope you're well. Hello. Would I sell Vicario if a good bid came in? Yeah, look, I think he's okay. I've said this before. I don't mind Vicario. I don't think he's great. I don't think he's poor. I think he's a good, decent goalkeeper. Again, the question with, as always, with Spurs is, sure, sell him. I've got no problem with that. But what's coming in behind him? Do you know what I mean? Who are we buying? That's going to be the question. Also, the question is, why aren't we at 400 likes? We're at 270 likes. There's nearly 600 of you in here. Smash that button, please. As I said, I'll be back for you later today as well. We've got 2 more streams. So, guys and girls, I'm putting in the effort for you in the sun. You can smash a button for me. Thank you very much. The question, I'll throw it back to you. Would you sell Vicario? There's the question. But again, these Chelsea rejects, man, why don't we sign proper players in form? Which Chelsea rejects are we talking about? Who are we talking about? Sorry. Jackson is obviously, yeah, I agree with you. I don't want Jackson, by the way. I said I'd have him over Solanke, but I don't want him. Does that make sense? 2 very, very different things. 2 very, very different things. Big up to my man, Bryce. How you doing out there in Australia? So, Savva, I'm almost wishing Vinay put the brakes on Levy with that winning the league and Champions League fluff. We know it's all PR. Yeah, I do feel like the fan base have taken this way too literally. I really do. We all know what he meant. All right. I think he got a bit carried away. I think Vinay's gone in there and gone, come on, Daniel. We need to be better with the fan base. We need to be more communicative. We need to be open and transparent and honest. And Daniel Levy's just gone, we're going to win a league. And everyone's gone, we're winning leagues. So, look, it's interesting. It's interesting, isn't it? Jackson over Solanke. I don't rate Solanke at all. I think Solanke, what is he, 28? Coming up to 28, has only ever had 1 good year in his career. As I said to you last summer, I didn't want him then. By the way, I don't want Nicholas Jackson. I'm just saying I'd rather him up front because at least he gets his shots away. At least he wants to shoot and score goals. Solanke never seems to want to shoot. Who else we got? Kate said she would sell Vicario. He flaps too much. THFC 2038 said, I wouldn't sell Vicario. Paul Watkins would sell Vicario. And again, this is what tells you how good a player is. When the fan base is split, it tells you something for me. Big up to my man, Wayne Holland out there. How you doing, Wayne? I hope you're good. WhatsApp me in a bit. Hope you're good. Mate's saying, leave our players alone. Which one of your players are we trying to get? Here we go. Savva, would you take Bilal El Khanous from Leicester? I watched him a few times. I like Khanous as a footballer. But again, I don't think it's what we need. I think we need more seasoned senior pros. And as Wayne said, let them have Khanous and try and get back up into the Premier League. I think it was a stupid thing for Levy to say. It was ill-informed of him to say. You know, it was ill-informed. Where are we? Savvy, what's the minimum that TF needs to achieve, that Thomas Frank needs to achieve this season? Are we thinking Euro qualification and a better show in the league? I'll answer this question when I've seen the transfer window. With the way the transfer window's going, I'm not expecting anything at the moment. With the way the transfer window's going, all I'm expecting is him to get us higher up the table. Sign a couple of good players, it will change my opinion massively. Big up to Donna Cullen in the chat. Hope you're well. Daniela Stewart said, I'm 60 on July the 1st. Happy birthday for Tuesday. Hoping my club gives me a nice birthday. If not, in the pub. Get in the pub. Always get in the pub. Always get in the pub. Where are we? Is it a reflection of our current squad that after finishing 17th, the only player attracting any serious interest of other clubs is Romero? Well, I'd ask the question, is Romero even attracting interest? And you're right. I think it is a reflection. As I said, I think we've got some good players. I don't think you've got anyone there that top clubs are going, we've got to get that guy out of Tottenham. You know, like when you had Bale, got to get that guy out of Tottenham. Carrick, Modric, Berbatov. Okay, got to get that guy. I don't think there is that at Spurs. I've said it for a very long time. I don't think there is that at Spurs. We got some good players. I think we've got good enough players to have a better team than we're seeing. But I agree with you. Kudus and Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey's grown on me in the last year. Jacob Ramsey, for me, I think could be a good player under Thomas Frank. We've been linked with him before, haven't we? I don't know if there's any rumours with it, but I'd take Jacob Ramsey. I think he's a good footballer. Watching him this year for Villa, been impressed. We'll see. Jay Spurs said goalkeeper is not an important position. We are good there. Yeah, I didn't say it's an important position. Listen, I don't think it's one that we massively need to address now, but if a bid came in, a big bid for Vicario, and we got a better keeper, I'm all over it. I'd take it. Levy out 6588 has said this summer is so not exciting. Same old Spurs. We ain't signing anyone of quality. Got to hope that that's not true, my man. We've got to hope it's not true. Haybridge Stewart said we need a far better starting 11. Most are shit to compete on all fronts. Yeah, I don't feel like we're gonna compete on all fronts anyway. I don't think we're that club at the moment. Absolutely not. Never going to happen in a million years. No, just don't entertain it. Big up to Margot Robbie in the chat. Of course, Margot Robbie is in the chat. Saying, Savva, did you have a haircut? No, Savva didn't. Friday. Thank you for noticing, Margot Robbie 1990. I'm sure that you're on a Hollywood film set somewhere watching Football Heritage TV in the background. Big up to you, Margot Robbie. THFC 2038 said, watch us keep Kinski as first option if we sell Vicario. Something we would do for sure. How we laugh. Where are we? I would like us to sign McGinn from Villa for a bit of. I'd love John McGinn. John McGinn is everything that midfield needs: power, passing, driving forward with a ball, leader, captain, experience, work rate. John McGinn would go in and be our captain immediately. We actually do have a relatively similar view on a few things. Yeah, I'm sure we do, Gary. I enjoyed our conversation last year before you then went back to Twitter and plastered it all over Twitter, mugging me off. I saw it, mate. I saw it. Wayne has said 65 million Solanke, 45 million Johnson, 35 million Tell, 155 million on them three. Oh, my days. Yes, this is what Tottenham do. I mean, this is what Tottenham do. We buy, when we do go big, we go wrong. It's madness. It's absolutely madness. Big up to Tetley, who said, Savva, you won't like this, but question. Oh, good. Everyone likes a sentence that starts with, you won't like this. Just my opinion, Kane is a legend, but he did not get us over the line. Maybe he was too selfish. Are you asking me if I think Harry Kane's a Spurs legend? Yes, for his goal scoring. No, for his inability to get us over the line. Would be. I mean, what a footballer! What a fantastic footballer! He's our club record goal scorer on that front. Absolutely. Solanke, another Chelsea reject. Van der Ven, I mean, maybe, but he's got to get himself fit. And sorry, I've got to disagree on that one. Adogi's done nothing in 2 years to show me that he's at that level yet. That's just my opinion. Romero looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. I think other teams can see that he shuts down when he doesn't get what he wants and is more of a liability. Listen, I think he's kind of got that attitude where he needs everything to be absolutely right for him to focus, which is a worry, right? You get some that just get on with it. But we'll see. I don't agree with that starting 11 comment. Don't think our best 11 players are a million miles away. From what? I don't even know what our best 11 is anymore. I think our forwards in our best 11 are poor. The centre mids definitely need changing. Luke said, rumoured James McAtee 25, Harvey at 40. I'd take both if we also go and get a top player like Ezzy or Simmons. I agree. I'd take both of them. I really, really would. Really, really would. Let me have a look here. Got a super chat from my mate Gary. We're starting the super sticker train again. Big up to each and every one of you. We're going for another 5-10 minutes. There's still plenty of time. Talent out there. Relax. Listen, there's always talent. There's always talent out there. As for time, I think what we need is I would love us for 1 year to have the players ready for the pre-season, like for the actual going out to South Korea. That's what I would love. Big up to you, Gary. Really appreciate it, my man. That's very generous of you. Thank you very much. Where are we? Let's have a look at some comments. MS Dazzler 12 says, Savva, I think Vicario will be better than Thomas Franks. When Thomas Franks sorts out the defence, he'll be under less pressure, which a more sure-footed defence in front of him. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you on that front. For me, he just flaps a little bit too much for me. And he tries to do things with his feet that he isn't good at. Whoever is running the Donna Cullen and Margot Robbie accounts, clearly the same person. Can we just calm it down with the silliness just a little bit? Big up to my man Dylan. Hope you're well. How are you? I said, regardless of whether we go big or small, we invariably go wrong. VDV is about the best player, but needs to stay fit. I don't disagree with it. I don't disagree with any of that. Van der Ven, for me, I've got to see a season where he stays fit and isn't playing in a high line. That's what I want to see for him before I turn around and put him on that pedestal. That's what I want to see. I think I'm the only one who doesn't want Paratici to come back, but I'll take it if it means Lang leaves. Well, interesting, isn't it? We put the poll out. Is Paratici coming back to Spurs? 473 votes. 75% have said yes. 75% think that he is coming back to Spurs. Bobby has said it ain't on Kane that we haven't got over the line. He carried us with his goals for years and years and years. Levy should have put better players around him. In fact, he didn't. As well. Sure, but I also think that if you're going to put a player on a pedestal and call him world class and the best striker in the world, then in finals, you've got to turn up and do something. That moment of class, you've got to. For me, we might have to disagree on that one. Savva, who was our last expensive signing that we had to fight other big clubs off to sign? Yeah, good question. I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. We don't tend to go into battles with big clubs because we probably won't win. Dogie and Porro go up at level next season with Frank playing wing backs. If he plays wing backs. Last year, a lot of the time he played 4 at the back. So that'll be interesting to see. My understanding is that most of the squad go back on the 4th, if I'm not wrong, which is it the 4th or the 7th or something like that? So next week-ish. Thomas Frank has got to buy some magic dust and sprinkle it on our squad and try anything to make them better. Yeah, listen, he will make them better. He will make them better for sure. But we've got to help him. We've got to give him some better players as well. I think Maddison will do very well under Frank because you know what? He'll allow him to play the playmaker role, Wayne, like he did with Damsgaard. And something that Ange just didn't do with Maddison, did he? Just didn't allow him to be a playmaker. But we'll see what happens. Guys, girls, I'm going to leave it there. As I said, we're going to be back hopefully at 5 p.m. for Inter Miami versus PSG in the knockout stages of the World Club Cup. So Lionel Messi against his old team. That's going to be an interesting game. I would think that PSG would win, but stranger things have happened. And then tonight at 7:30, we have got the Spurs review. Myself, Danny, Lubo, Manny, and a few others have been invited as well. So we'll see who joins later. Thank you very, very much, everybody. Take care. And as always, Come on, you Spurs.